Hey guys, today is going to be part 2 of the Robert Saltsman collection, and I'm going to show you some of the rarest Lugers that a person can collect. Now, if you watched me yesterday, you know I did part 1 of the Robert Saltsman collection. Here it is, all laid out on our table, and I mentioned it's about $250,000, and I only showed you 2 guns. They're both very rare. Now I'm going to show you some long barrel Lugers. Now, I also have 4-inch barrel Lugers. There's some really rare ones there, but I divided them in half and said, here's the long barrels. I'm going to do that first. These tend to be all early Lugers, meaning pre-Mauser or pre-World War II. Let's take a look at these Lugers, and I think some of you are going to be amazed at this collection. Now, most of you know the standard Luger that was used by the German Army, both World War I and World War II, had a 4-inch barrel right here. 4-inch barrel. This one was made by Mauser. We'll save that for the next video because I'm going to talk about early long barrel. Now, the early ones were pre-1934 for the most part, but for the long barrel, and these happen to be artillery Lugers, they are mostly the early ones. This is World War I. And they did make a few commercial models between the wars, but these are earlier models. The Navy Luger, and actually some other special Lugers, like this one, will have a 6-inch barrel. So it goes 4-inch, 6-inch, and then approximately 8 inches. So these are the longer barrel. And we're going to start off with 2 of the rarest ones that you'll ever find. These are both dated 1914. You can take a look here and here. They're both dated 1914. Now, both of these were made for World War I. They went to artillery units or machine gun units. They are all 9mm. They do have the adjustable rear sight. Now, there are 2 makers. This one is Erfort, and this one is DWM. Now, the Erfort 1914 was the only year they made them, and so they are less rare. At least the 1914 dated ones, because they made a couple thousand of them. So they're still very rare. They bring a premium. This is all original finish. You can see straw small parts. They had a wood bottom magazine. This magazine does not match the gun, but the rest of the gun is all matching. So you can just see how beautiful that finish is. So in 1914 Erfort, you do see halos, which is like the shadowing or aura around the serial number, which basically tells me it's all original finish. Look at these front straps, beautiful. If you think this Erfort 1914 is beautiful, the rarest of all of the artilleries is the 1914 DWM. So they made a lot of DWMs. In fact, we're going to see the 17 is the most common one. I think they made tens of thousands of those artilleries, but this was only a few hundred in 1914. So the first year was 1914 that they were made by DWM. It has a unique set of inspection stamps. This is all correct. And I think this is probably the nicest one I've ever seen. I would like to own this, but I'm going to give you guys a chance to buy it. And if nobody buys it, I think I will. Take a look at the front strap. Very rare, only a few hundred made. And just to give you a clue, I sold these, I see maybe one every 2 or 3 years, and I sold one 10 years ago for over $10,000. So they are very expensive. This one is a 17, so it's an artillery Luger. This is the holster that it comes in. It has a different kind of strap because it doesn't go around your waist, but you saw from those guys that posed for us, they wear it over the shoulder. There's room here for a cleaning tool. You can see that right here. And then a cleaning rod. It's extra long, goes all the way to here. Cleaning rod, and now we'll take out the gun itself. And so this one is 1917, not nearly as rare, and therefore a lot less expensive, made by DWM. And you can see, not quite as nice as the 1914, but it's still a very nice gun. It's a nice artillery and much more affordable. Again, this one is all matching except for the magazine. It does have a proper magazine, all matching except for the magazine. And all of these bores are excellent. Okay, one more artillery that is very uncommon, very rare. This one happens to have a Persian crest. Now, it was made by DWM. You can see the Persian writing here for the elevation, Persian writing here for the manufacturer, comes in 9mm, and it went to Persia, modern day Iran. So this was armaments the Germans sold to Iran, or Persia back then. Now this was between the wars, so they were making them, they were trying to get outside contracts because they were restricted from making them for their own army. But they did sell them to other people, including the United States. So we're going to take a look at one that went to the United States between the war. Everything on this gun is matching except the magazine, but you can see it is a Persian magazine. So it's a Persian variation. Not everybody cares that much about owning one, but they are very rare, very cool to own. You can see here the Persian writing. And I'm not an expert on these, but I know they're very rare. Beautiful guns. They did originally come with the stock and the holster and the whole kit and caboodle. This one is just for the gun. And again, I think I've only handled 1 or 2 of these in my collecting career. Now next, I think I'll take a look at a artillery, which I'm going to call a commercial model, because it is just like the Artillery Lugers, even longer barrel, and you can see that it does have the wood stock. A beautiful gun. This is actually a Luger Carbine, and they were specially made. They only made a few hundred of them. They were made special orders. Some of them, even the earliest ones, will have GL, George Luger's initials on them because they made them as special presentation guns. So this is a very rare find. It'll sell pretty quickly because this one is in beautiful condition. Now this case was actually handmade by a guy I know, and he was selling them. You can see how he adorned it, made it really beautiful, put these Weimar era eagles on it, has a little carrying case. So the gun fits in here and the stock fits in here. So this is not original, it was made more recently, but the craftsmanship on this case, carry case, is beautiful. Now we're going to take the stock. The stock actually matches the gun. You can see the serial number here, 31, and then the serial number here. Hard to read, but it is also 31. And this fits on here perfectly. Lock it down. You can see the fire blue here. There would be no numbering on the bottom of the magazine because, it's a commercial model. This was made between the wars, as far as I know. It does have a crown end proof. It is all matching, including the stock, and unnumbered. And it would just hold it like this, and this is considered a Luger carbine. This comes, all the Lugers that I've shown you so far were 9mm. This actually comes in 30 caliber. And I have shot a carbine. I have, we put that on a video, and they're very smooth, very accurate. If you take a look at the front strap, you can see how beautiful it is. Back strap, you can't really see, but it does have the safety here. I believe this is model 1906. And it's really easy to take it off. You just pop this through, and this will come out. And then this slides off and comes apart that way. So it's easy to take apart. Very rare, very beautiful gun. It's a great display piece, but you can certainly take it out and shoot it. Okay, just a few more long barrels, and these are the 6-inch variation. This is going to be commercial. This could be post-factory. It is US marked. I mean, it says, I think it right here, there's a maker mark. I'm not going to try to show you, but it says USA. Excelsior, I believe. I think this was made after the fact, but it fits in here beautiful. And it could be a replica of the original case that it came in. But these were put in a case. They were sold to the United States. They were sold in the commercial market. We will also see in a minute that they were sold to the U.S. military as well. This, you can tell the U.S. market because it has the American Eagle presidential seal here. And this is a model 1900 because of the dish toggle, as opposed to this toggle, which is not, if you look at the two toggles, you see the difference. This was only model 1900 dish toggle. This again is 30 caliber, just like the other commercial gun. Again, military tend to all be 9mm. Commercials, early commercials are more often 30 caliber. DWM. And you can see how beautiful the straps are. It does have the additional safety here, which is a grip safety. This just means that it won't fire unless you push this, and you can see the safety lever here, and then it'll fire. So that's an additional safety besides this. Now this would have come with 2 blank bottom magazines, and sure enough, there are 2. 1, 2. It also comes with original ammo from that same era. You can see right here. Here's what the 30 caliber looks like. 30 caliber, let me put one here and then go get a 9mm Luger. So this is modern, you can tell by the copper jacketed, but that's the 30 cal. Now they both fit in the same magazine because the butt end is the same size. It's only the bullet itself and the bore that need to be 30 caliber or 9. So people ask me, can I use a 9mm with a 30 caliber? You absolutely can. They will both fit. I'll spare you the time to show you that, but they both fit. So that's original ammo. Then we can see the Luger tool, a punch, and a cleaning rod. The cleaning rod includes the oiler. All you do is unscrew this. There's a little bit of grease or Vaseline in there, and you put a dab on there. So that's the cleaning rod. And again, this is a commercial model. This one went to the United States sometime after 1900 and sold in the commercial market. Well, as rare as that commercial model is, it's like brand new. That's the way it left the factory. This doesn't look real beautiful, but it is extremely rare because this is a U.S. Army test Luger. Now, U.S. Army test Luger. It's a long story, but just after 1900, the U.S. Army knew that they needed a new sidearm for their troops. At that time, they were only using revolvers, but they were looking for a semi-automatic. And so several countries submitted examples for the U.S. Army to test, and one of them was Germany. Germany made some of the finest handguns in the world, so of course they stepped up. And long story short, they sent about 1,000 for the U.S. Army to test out. We tested them out, and we ended up going with the 1911 Colt. Of course, you all knew that. Savage put together an example. Here's a test Savage from the early 1900s. And of course, the 1911, the patent date was 1911 on that. On these, they ran them through tests, and there was a couple things the United States didn't like about them. One, they wanted a larger caliber, and of course you guys know that they did make a couple 45 calibers because the United States wanted them, but by the time they did that, they had already made up their mind to take the 1911. Second reason they didn't like them was because the design of the Luger is a lot more complicated than John Browning's design in the 1911 Colt. And the third reason was because they didn't like the idea of a foreign country making the sidearm for the U.S. Army. And that all made sense because we ended up right after, if we had accepted this, I think we actually would have made them in the United States. But long story short, of course, we fought 2 wars with Germany, and we certainly didn't want them to supply our sidearms. Now, a couple unique things. First of all, these all fall in a serial range of about 6,100 to 7,100. There are some extended ranges, the Bannerman range. It's a lot more complicated. This comes in 30 caliber. It has the 6-inch barrel. They will always have the American Eagle. They're made by DWM. They have the dish toggle. They have this special safety here, grip safety, and the numbering is a little bit different. Suffice it to say, for some reason, it has a number here and under here and a couple other spots. But this is a test Eagle sold to the U.S. Army for test purposes. Most of them were beat up. They were put in the mud and salt water and rain and snow and sleet and hail and all that, and most of them you will find in very poor condition. This is in really great condition. As rare as the gun is, the holster is even rarer because this survived a lot better over the past 100 or so years. This survived a lot better than a piece of leather. This piece of leather is marked U.S., and it came with the test Eagle. This leather alone, I've seen them sell in great condition, mint condition, as high as $5,000. This is probably more like $2,500 to $3,000. But the gun and the holster together are extremely rare. You probably will never see one at a gun show, but here you can see it on Legacy Collectibles. This is all matching and correct, and was again sent to the U.S. Army sometime right after the year 1900. Now, the final long barrel is a Swiss example. So we saw a U.S. example, we saw a German example, and the Swiss also bought the Luger early on. This is a Swiss holster, and it is maker mark. It is marked Bern, and is actually 1906. So it's a model 1900, 6-inch barrel, again 30 caliber. made by DWM, and there's the Swiss Cross. So this is a commercial Swiss Luger from about 1900. The magazines are somewhat unique. You can always tell a Swiss magazine because of the little disc there. But it's very, as you can see, that this model and this model are very similar, almost exactly the same. Excellent quality workmanship, with the only difference being the crest. Now, the Luger was sent to other countries in the same configuration, and so you will see other countries with their logos on it, including some South American countries. Bulgaria, I know, bought some. So the Luger was going out all over the world, and again, the reputation of German pistols spread throughout the world as being among the best. Even if you can't afford these Lugers, this is a rare opportunity to see some, and you may never see them again. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, because I've got at least a couple more videos to do on the Robert Saltsman collection, and there's some even rarer ones to come. Rare.